One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. So let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take them chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
They're back.
What up, though? What up, though? 7 more days and we're back again for another interesting conversation on Dominant Effect Podcast. I'm Archbishop. We got Mike Ball, Aaron Onlinger, and we got a pretty good one. Just like always dropping some kind of knowledge, some kind of information on something. But we're not gonna hit the political side this time. We're gonna be talking about something else that pretty much everybody's experiencing. But before we start, like always, we check and see what everybody done for the week. So we'll start with you, Aaron. What up with you, brother? How was your week?
Oh, the weekend was great. Saturday, I went and did a strongman competition. I've never done one of those. It's basically powerlifting where they had 3 categories: bench press, deadlift, and squats. And I took my products there and vended, and a lot of people liked it. They thought it was a good match, and they made me and my daughter feel real welcome. They threw some support our way, and we definitely been invited to come back. So that opens up another avenue, money stream for me, breaking into a new market. And it was good to meet new people and make new friends. So it was a good weekend for me.
Nice.
What's up?
Well, what about what's behind you? I see that too.
Oh, well, I was able to reorder some stuff in. I got some new pieces up where I had a single head battle axe. I got a double head now. I've got barbarian swords. I've got two different types of tomahawks, a trench hawk, and then the other one that's built like a fireman's head. I only put two up that were the same as I had before, but everything else is all new pieces. And I'm still going to add to that wall. I'm still not done with that wall yet, so it's a work in progress.
It's awesome.
Mhm.
For me, it wasn't as exciting as yours there, Aaron. But it's been primarily just news and being with family and friends lately. It's been through the Memorial weekend. We spent a lot of time actually right here locally, like 2 blocks away. So we kept it in the family, and it was a good time. Other than that, it's just been just a lot of news. That's it.
That's what's up. Well, let me see. Past week, what happened? Work like always. I did get my chance to get my little directing skills on over the weekend.
Oh shit.
Remember, I told you before I was taking another guy's place where he was on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an experience. I mean, I actually liked it. It was actually really cool. It was like a Saturday, Sunday deal. And I don't think, let me see, Sunday, I don't think we got through until, man, like 1:30 in the morning. It was literally all day. But it was fun. I mean, it was really fun. It was hot as hell, but it was really fun. You know
When's
what I
it
mean? But
not hot as hell in Florida?
there's times.
It was like a
It
week.
right. It just wasn't last weekend. But yeah. So I got to experience that side. I mean, which I've always been, throughout, film and stuff like that. I was, just kind of sit back watching and, every now and or whatever. But just actually having that job to be able to say, cut, do this, change this around, come back, dude. It was it was actually kind of fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, I bet you. I mean, when you get to go like this, you know what I mean? Start pointing the
Right.
finger around a little bit.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
good
So
time.
it was yes, it was cool. Another thing, like we talked about before, we got Riding Dirty 2 that's out. Right now it's on Tubi, but it's going to be transferring over to Amazon Prime and Apple TV here within the coming weeks. Part 1 should be out here soon. I don't know really what the holdup was, or I think it was like some kind of paperwork discrepancy or whatever they had to get worked out, but it's all worked out. That should be coming up. The next one, the one I was working on after then was called Standing on Business.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's the one where I play this police lieutenant, which was another one that was kind of shocking because I ended up getting a lead role in this movie. But
Damn.
it's supposed to be out July, early August. But today I got the trailer for Standing on Business. So I'm going to play it for you guys to check it out. And like I said, it will be out late July, early August. It should be out on the streaming apps from that time. So let me play it right quick for y'all to check it out. Morning, everyone. Everyone look all rested and relaxed. But you know who's not relaxed right now? The fucking governor.
Hello, man. So you said to come out here with no assistance, no security, so why are we here?
Look, I promised your father to get you into the office, and I lived up to that, right?
Yes, sir, you did.
Your father also promised me that my product would be in safe hands. You already know how that went.
Hey, yo, Papa, show the man what he want to see, bro. I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Get over here now! Get the fuck out of here!
Listen,
Okay, I'm listening.
I didn't want to say anything in front of the others.
Pissed off to the wrong people, motherfucker!
After comparing the last few hits with the last time, I think they've been hit by some professionals.
Look, I'm not here about it right now. I ain't got time for your shit this morning, Sierra.
Think you couldn't have waited after we talked before you did this?
This is how I do it.
You do realize they caught that motherfucker red-handed, right?
I don't give a fuck what you believe. Good enough I came here to talk to you. Even without my rep being present, I might add.
What's in the bag?
Fuck out of the car, Kelly.
No!
I said get the fuck out of the car. Anybody playing with your ass, man?
Fuck you!
Calm down. Calm the fuck down.
I don't know what's in the bag.
I need to cash in on one of those favors you owe me.
Sir, I've been here for 18 years. I've never seen nothing like this.
Fuck, they found you, didn't they?
Fucking coming for me. They're coming for me.
Time for the Moscow manicure!
What the fuck is wrong with you? You're supposed to be the one I can trust.
Think we can trust his ass? Look, that motherfucker's life is on the line just like ours is.
So, what is it, Amelia?
Nigga, tighten up! Hurry up! Nigga, this is robbery! Man, bitch, help me!
Look, Lieutenant. Then why the fucking cartel is sending us fucking cards with your fucking name on it?
We're working for the cartel.
What the fuck?
Bitch, what?
Keeping it real about it. Looking for something that's real. You know, standing on business. Just keeping it real.
Fuck.
Hell no. I'm just keeping it real. So I bought the windows clear, but I need them tinted. Yeah.
Yo,
with 24
we need to meet.
friends, but I ain't even finished yet.
Now.
Feel like I'm almost here, so I ain't tripping. Yeah, I ain't tripping at all.
Hell yeah, that was what's up right there. I like that little plot twist there at the end.
Oh, it's all kind of plot twisted.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is one of them movies that if you get up and walk away and come back, you're gonna miss something.
You got to go back.
Right. You'll know what the story is about, but you're gonna miss something. And you know how on like most trailers, like it plays, usually you watch the trailer, it plays like all the good stuff. And then when you watch the movie, you know what I mean, it doesn't really show a whole lot. This here only shows a small portion of what goes on in this movie.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot there. A whole lot there. What is that? I just see the bit, baby.
Well, shit. Papa Penguin with the 26 right there. Man,
yeah,
that's awesome.
He
And he
paid
said
up
that.
on his bet.
He paid up on his bed over there on the Diamond Effect. Make sure you guys go over there on the Diamond Effect podcast YouTube channel over there, man. But yeah, hell yeah. Thank you, Papa. Nice little wager there.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it's a real good movie. Real good movie.
It looks like it.
so
Looks
if
like
you
it was
watch it-
really well produced and everything.
Yeah, it was. So if you watch Riding Dirty 1 and 2, both of them are good. Standing on Business is like the step above that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Also, with speaking of Riding Dirty, they're going to do another Riding Dirty, but it's not going to be a movie. It's going to be a miniseries. Going to be 8 to 10.
That's awesome.
Show miniseries, and that's going to start. I'm thinking around September, maybe.
Dude, that's got to be better than a normal movie.
Well, yeah. Because I mean, you got so much more stuff that you can put into it.
Well, now you can do an hour episode for each episode or whatever, 45 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you get a lot more out of more airtime, a lot of everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. I'll be talking about that one quite a bit here in a little bit because they're gonna start doing the casting calls and stuff like that. So, so for people that's interested, you want to try your luck. You can show up to one of the casting calls and see what happens.
I'll show up. I'll do it.
Like I said, it's a lot of stuff going on. You, Mike, I already got you straight.
Yeah, but I'll do the whole thing. You know, I gotta sit there and do it with everyone else too. It's a good
Well,
time.
I promise. But see, I had already promised you and Black Dragon that I was going to get both of you in there, and I've already chimed y'all in. So,
Oh man, what an honor! Seriously.
Yeah, because he called. You know how Dragon is. He
Oh
called,
yeah.
I want to be in the movie.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is my speed right here.
Yeah. So he got so I looked out for him too. So we're gonna get him in there too. So, but yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on. A lot more stuff than this that's actually going on actually. But like I said, I keep you all posted as we get through.
So real quick before you move on, real quick about standing on business. When is that planned to kind of come out? I'm you said it, but I think I missed it.
It's right now they're shooting for the they're shooting for the end of July, beginning of August. That's where they're shooting for.
That's awesome. That's right around the corner.
Yeah, and that's also a part 1 and a part 2.
So are you gonna do like big premieres or anything with the launches of these?
Yeah, they're gonna do a they're in the process now of scheduling a premiere.
Nice.
When they do, I'll let you know.
Hell yeah, I want to be there.
And then also there's another thing that I worked out. I ran up on a guy over the weekend he's like in charge, one of the people that's in charge of the and they're going to be doing some new stuff here, and they were looking for they're doing like a different way that they're judging these films. So they're using, it's like instead of they're using like screenwriters and A and B list actors and stuff like that to judge these films to see
interesting
who wins, of course. But of course they're going to be doing a lot of the promoting for it and all that stuff. And I kind of work my hand a little bit to where we can actually be a part of that. So when they do the International Film Festival, then they're gonna set up something for us there that we can do the interviews with the actors and all that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I just got word about that yesterday. So so that's gonna be something else you're gonna have to. Well, I don't know where exactly it's gonna be at, but they're gonna.
Is that gonna be around the time they do the premiere, or is that
no? The International Film Festival. This is.
Oh, so it's a separate event there.
Yeah, this is something separate. Yeah, this is where they judge like international and independent films, stuff like that, and it's like a whole to-do type thing. You have a lot of A, B list actors there, a lot of screenwriters, directors, producers, a lot of people will be there.
International what was it? Film
Festival.
Film Festival. Got it. Just looked it up right now.
Yeah, so they got one for the international, then they got one for independent. But they're gonna merge them together this year and do both. Where they do.
Oh, and they're doing it in Atlanta.
Yeah, so they do it in different places. Every year they pick a different place and do it.
Okay.
But,
this is badass. I'm looking at the website. But man, I'm looking for when it's actually supposed to be. I'm looking for it. But anyways. Nice.
Yeah, so they said they were going to release a lot of content, stuff like that for prior to. So there'll be some. We'll end up doing some shows where there'll be some actors we'll be doing interviews with and stuff like that. And then when they have the actual event, they're going to set up something to where we'll be set up there and we can do
like your own booth
the
area or
interviews and all
something.
that stuff. Yeah, about like how you was doing in California.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so I
awesome.
figured that was something that you could sink your teeth in. I know you.
Oh, I'm
you
all
good.
about that shit.
Right, right. Yeah.
And
So when that came about, I'm like, hell yeah, we can do that. So he was, so that's something else that we got planned. So it's,
hell yeah.
so it's a lot of good stuff that's going on.
Sounds like it, dude. That's awesome to hear the amount of upward mobility that you continue to have. It's awesome.
It's been a whole lot of talking. It's been a whole lot of talking and a whole lot of praying. You know what I mean? So
I'm sure.
like I said, I mean, this is something that I wasn't trying to get into from the beginning, but like I said, I'm glad I am.
It naturally fell into your lap though, and you're the one that decided to walk through that door, right? It can open doors can open up for you, but it's up to you to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Exactly. So we'll keep everybody tuned in as to what's going on. So like I said, we're gonna end up doing some other stuff, and Mike gonna have to travel a little bit, but we're gonna.
Oh, I don't care.
But we're gonna get it, and we see about getting Aaron out there so we can have the whole trifecta out there, and we'll be
That'd
able
be
to get
super dope.
Yeah. So we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it done. So so to jump onto this story, this story here we end up picking because everybody's been affected by this right now, and it's the weather. You know, we've been having for the past week, past few weeks, you've had several severe hurricanes and flooding, massive storms, and on top of that, you got the heat wave that's coming through. And from what a lot of these forecasters are talking about, that the heat this year is going to be more than it ever has been. That they're talking about actual states that usually have a lighter climate, like near the Rocky Mountain, they're going to be experiencing this heat wave as well. So there's no state that's going to be unscathed from this heat, from what they're talking about. So we're going to jump into a couple different parts of it, and we're going to talk about the actual storms itself, what's actually causing them, and what's being done. Because right now we suffering. FEMA done took a little hit to where they've laid off hundreds of workers over there, so they're not doing all the responses that they were initially doing, and so states like Missouri, they got hit over in St. Louis.
Arkansas,
they got hit pretty bad. Kentucky got hit pretty bad, and a lot of these
I just went through one too. I just went through one last week or something like that. Last week we had tornado alarms and everything.
Yeah, so you got a lot of these governors that's reaching out. They call them for states of emergency and reaching out to the Fed, to help them out. But they're being turned away for various reasons. But there's some other stuff that we're going to talk about as well. And then at the end, we're going to talk about, with all this stuff that's going on. Like I said, we're right at the midst of hurricane season as well, especially here in Florida, which starts June 1st.
Oh shit.
There's going to be a lot of weather going on, a lot of weather. And then based on what a lot of these meteorologists are saying, then this is going to be way more than we've ever experienced. So we're going to dive into a little bit of all of this and see what we can make of it. So Aaron, I'm gonna let you tag first, and then we'll jump in after you and keep it pushing.
Okay, well, right now, and this has been going on for the last 2 years, the world leading climatologists have all got together, and they said that the storms are going to increase in intensity, which means they're going to be stronger, and they're going to increase in frequency, which means they're going to be happening more often. Now, climate change, a lot of people doesn't believe in it, but it is happening. Mike, do you mind putting that one picture up that you pulled for me?
Sure, I got you. It is right here. This one?
Okay, yeah. I want people to see here that Tornado Alley has shifted. Originally, it stretched from Texas and went straight up through Colorado and Arizona and different states like that. Because the jet stream is no longer straight, it's almost crooked. The
Man,
Tornado Alley is shifted over and is now Ohio is a part of it.
yeah, I'm a part of that shit too. I'm right there in the
And
danger zone.
it doesn't make any sense. And people don't want to believe that climate change and the jet stream and different things. And then you've got the government cloud seeding, which is also causing an effect on these storms and their intensity and their movement. But it is definitely apparent that Tornado Alley has moved. And now people who wasn't in the danger zone, tornadoes will become a reality for them. And they're going to see higher intensity. They're going to see more frequency of it happening. With the oceans getting warmer, that's going to fuel the hurricanes, make them much more stronger. So much so that now they're talking about going to a category 6 and a category 7, adding that to the chart. But I'm gonna stop there. But it's getting scary. I mean, if people feel, well, I shouldn't have to prep, just prepping for Mother Nature, and that's the reality. This could happen at any time. You should be prepping, and I'll stop there.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Well,
you're right.
But with the jet stream, it's become more erratic, so to speak, and it is dropping further south, and it's just kind of stalling in place. Like once that happens, I've seen on there where they were talking about the increase of wind shear and the which would kind of make those storms even stronger with that wind shear. But then also, like you were saying with the warm waters, yeah, that adds a lot more moisture and kind of makes the atmosphere unstable. You know what I mean? So a lot of these storms are gonna pick up. It's gonna get more intense. Like right before we started the show, I was talking about the storm that just came through here, and it came through quick, but it dumped a whole lot of water real fast. So, like I'm sitting at the red light, and I'm looking across at a four-way, and you can see where the water was up, almost to the top of the tires of the cars, just sitting at the red light.
Oh shit, that much.
And it had only been raining for probably about 45 minutes. Like it dumped
oh shit, it
real
dumped.
hard. Right. It dumped real hard.
Damn.
But these storms is just like I said, they've been picking up with intensity. You know what I mean? And then you got the heat. And it says that the overall planet has warmed up over 1.1 degrees Celsius.
That's interesting.
And that hasn't actually been risen since the pre-industrial times. And
No
a
shit.
lot of this is due to greenhouse gas. So it makes it hotter, more intense. You know what I mean? And it's just going to get hotter. You know what I mean? So you have you can say where it says that climate change doesn't directly cause tornadoes, but the increased frequency and the conditions of the tornadoes, it makes more likely.
Right. It creates that perfect environment.
Right. So the more unstable the air mass and the larger storm seasons, which it kind of fuels right along with it to make it even worse. So now like hurricane season here, it's hurricane season starts June 1st and it usually ends November 1st.
Damn.
But
it's a long time.
Yeah, but they've stretched it out. So now it doesn't end till November 30th. but they're calling for a 60% increase in the storms, in the storm activity, and that they're calling for at least 13 to 19 named storms and 5 or greater storms that were Cat 3 and above. So so you looking at say last year, what do we have? Milton last year?
Yep.
That had
Milton, Helene.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So those were the 2 major ones last year. But they're saying this year that it's gonna be we're gonna have more storms, more hurricanes than what we had the previous year. So especially here in this area here, I mean, Florida always get hit.
Yeah.
They always get hit.
It's
We're the first
impossible
one.
to not get hit.
Right. We usually the first ones to get hit.
Mhm.
So being prepared for situations like this is a must. You know what I mean? But a lot of, to tell you the truth, a lot of the people that actually live in Florida, that was born and raised in Florida, they don't even really care for real.
Yo, Archbishop, I was just about to say that. So Beezer in the chat right here. Okay. He lives in South Florida. One of my really, really good brothers right here. And this man right here last year during Milton or Helene, I think it was Milton. The evacuation went out and this motherfucker doesn't leave his house. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And he's like, we're good, dude. We're good. So then I call him up like the next day and he's not answering. And I'm like calling him back to back. I'm like, yo, what? He's not answering my phone calls. And I legitimately I actually thought that he might have gotten caught up because people were getting caught up. And he calls me back. Don't be a bitch. I'm good, dude. I'm like sitting there like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I've lived here all my life, or not all his life, but for a long time. And this is what we do. We don't listen to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we gonna go?
Yeah, they don't really pay attention to it unless it's like a Cat 3 or above. So like if it's like a Cat 1, they still running around, they having parties. Cat 2 is like, I mean, we may want to take our stuff off the porch because it's gonna blow our shit down the street. Cat 3 then is like, okay, maybe we need to board it. Maybe we need to put some boards on the house, board the windows up.
Right.
It's like like when I first got down here and it was a hurricane, I'm like, oh shit, I got to make sure I got this and got this and got this. And I'm running around trying to get all this stuff. And the guy across the street, he was just sitting out there chilling. He's sitting out there laughing, was like, dude, you buying all that shit for nothing. It was and the storm came through, and like I said, it ruffled everything up, not the power out for about a week. And he was outside every day just chilling. He ain't had no generator, no nothing. It was like, dude, this happens all the time. This ain't nothing.
It's all good.
Right.
It's part of the deal here.
Yeah. So like unless it's like a 3 or better, actual
we don't
Floridian,
even care. We don't even care.
Don't care.
Don't even tell us.
Right. They don't even care. Now everybody else will sit there and they'll be calling and like, you okay? You okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm sitting here at the house. You at the house? Why ain't you left? Ain't no point. Ain't no point. Ain't nobody left. Everybody just sitting here chilling.
Everyone's here. We're not going nowhere.
What was you gonna say, Aaron?
Well, I wanted to add because I don't want people to get confused because you said that the temperatures had raised 1 Celsius. I want people to understand that's not 1 degree Fahrenheit.
Right.
1 Celsius is 33.8 degrees of Fahrenheit. That's a major temperature shift. That's not just 1 degree and everything's warmer. No, it's got 33.8 degrees warmer than normal per Celsius. So I just want to make sure people make that distinction between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Okay, I'll stop there.
Yeah, because then you also got to think about you have the El Nino, which is returned, and that raises the global average temperature.
We dealt with that in California extremely every time.
Yeah, so that that causes droughts and heat waves and all of that. You know what I mean? Let's see. So what they have we have El Nino and then La Nina. It's two different patterns.
Yep.
That they have. And then too, you also got to think you got what you call that urban heat, which the cities are hotter than rural areas, of course, due to concrete, the asphalt, reduced vegetation, trees. I mean, not having a lot of trees, and that kind of fuels the heat wave in the city. So when you're in the city, it's always hotter in the city than it is in the country. Just based on those facts there. But then you have, with all the heat that we have going on, and like I said, the temperatures have risen. Now you're dealing with actual human health that's involved. You got heat stroke, dehydration, you got respiratory problems. On top of that, you got the drain that happens on these power grids. So it gets hotter, everybody using more air conditioning and all that to cool down the houses. You overrun the grids. So I know in certain states, especially like Texas, for instance, they'll actually shut the grid down for a little bit to keep it from overloading. Which they've been saying from some of the stuff that I was looking at over the past couple of days, is that's about to be a nationwide thing. That if they notice that these power grids are getting close to failure because of everybody using the ACs and then to be able to cool down the house because of the heat, that they're going to start having particular times where they shut down particular areas to be able to keep it from doing that.
Well, I mean, it draws the most amps. I mean, AC is an extremely energy used resource thing that we have. It takes up a lot of resources.
I mean, but then too, you got to think about the infrastructure damage.
Totally.
Dealing with this heat.
And we're dealing with this grid that's from the 60s,
Yeah, but they've been slowly
upgrading as they go.
There's been a lot of upgrades to it, but is it upgraded to the point that it should be? No.
Right.
But like I said, then you got the infrastructure damage, which is like damage to the roads, like it'll buckle highways, warp train tracks, and they can also degrade a lot of the material that they use in the power stations. So it's not just the fact of actually using so much power. The heat alone can do it just as easy. I mean, it can easily go through and blow a transformer, which in turn blows a regulator, which in turn blows an arrestor, and then you in the dark.
Chain effect, domino effect. Yep.
And then until you're able to, trace it down as to exactly, what went on, what I mean? Because you think if you have like with your transformer, like your transformer is usually the last thing to go. Usually you have your arrestor or your regulator that'll go first. So you notice, like in your house, like right before, like if it's a storm and right before the lights go out, you see it kind of flicker.
Yep.
And it may go out and come back on real quick. Okay. So that's your regulator. So that regulator, every time it's a power, where it's going to cut the power out, it'll reboot it.
Yep.
But it'll only do it 3 times. So after the 3rd time that it does that, it's gone. So then you got to replace that regulator. But before that regulator goes, you have an arrestor, which is kind of like a lightning arrestor. That's like a fuse about yay long. Now, that fuse is usually what goes first. Then the regulator, and then your actual transformer.
Damn.
Now, when that transformer goes, it's going to take a minute because you can't just fix a couple things on that transformer. You got to completely take it down and put a whole new transformer up. And that transformer is full of oil because you got all those resistors and stuff that's inside of it. So that's a long process to do. So just that little bit right there will keep you in the dark for a good little minute. Now, I would hate right now to be without power, especially being as hot as it's been. I mean, like my AC went out the other day for a couple days, and I had all the blinds shut, curtains pulled, everything. When I walked in the house, it was 92 degrees in the house.
Bet. Oh.
92 degrees in the house.
Oh, just you're cooking yourself. Just cooking yourself.
Bacon. Bacon. It was cooler outside than it was in the house.
Was there any animals inside?
No. If so, they'd have been laid out. They'd been laid on the carpet.
They'd be dinner.
Yeah, but it was just that quick. Like I left that morning, it was on. I come back, it was 92 degrees in the house.
Damn, it's terrible.
And they didn't come until like they ended up showing up like Sunday. So for 3 days, it was piping hot. It was. I'm sitting. I literally came home from work. I come in, take a shower, whatever, and I'm on the phone. I would walk out and get in my truck and start the truck up,
to
let
cool
the AC
off.
run, and just talk to people through the truck.
Oh,
just
terrible.
Because I didn't not want to go in the house because I knew if I went in the house, I'm gonna burn up.
Yeah. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, it was bad. Okay, so then so we went through the power grid strain. Then you have water stress. So you got the drought. Like a lot of them hotter temperatures, they dry out the soil quick, which is crucial. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these farmers, plants dry up. You know what I mean? Even though they're out there watering and all that, I mean, a lot of that water and stuff that they're doing is just evaporating. You know what I mean? Especially being that it's super hot. And when that ground is as dry as it is, it takes a lot more water for it to actually seep and actually stay in the ground long enough to actually water those plants. So a lot of that stuff goes out. Then you have your wildfire risk, which you know that far too well over in California. You get wildfires super quick.
Yep. It's
sometimes
expected.
right, and sometimes it's not just somebody just flicking out a cigarette or whatever. It's just so hot.
Yep,
You know what I
it just
mean?
naturally will just ignite. Yep, just from the heat, and it happens. Actually, it's expected. Kind of like you guys, where you live in Florida, you expect hurricanes. You know it's going to happen. You can almost predict it. Same thing with over there in California. A lot of the times they're actually controlled burns as well.
Mm-hmm. See, and then another big thing that goes on with that, especially like with these storms. So you got the storms, you got the wildfires, the hurricanes. Then you got to deal with these insurances. These insurance.
Oh, that's the worst part. The scam. Let's talk about the scam.
Right. Yeah. Because a lot of them, they see that that these storms are coming. So a lot of these companies would jump up and try to cancel the coverage before the storms hit. So they did that here in Florida last year. They knew that these storms were coming. So what did they do? They jumped up and they started canceling flood insurance and stuff like that to a lot of customers. And then when the storm hit, then of course they say, well, oh, you don't have storm insurance. You don't have flood insurance. Yeah, we do.
Yep.
We pay. No, but didn't you not get the letter that we sent out 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. What a joke.
Yeah, we actually canceled that because they knew that they were going to be paying out.
We actually canceled that. Yeah.
Right. They didn't want to pay out. So they
typical.
Right. So who's going to pay for it at that point? Then it's stuck on you.
Yeah.
So you gotta, you got a house that's been demolished, or flooded, or whatever, roof
Multiple
blew
cars.
off, whatever you got to do, and being the fact that you don't no longer have flood insurance, then you wiped out.
Yeah.
But another thing that they did here was that this was back 2 years ago. They passed a bill here in Florida that rose insurance rates.
Oh shit.
And then they started.
What reason?
A bill that they passed through good old Governor DeSantis. Yeah, it was just it wasn't dealing with just house insurance. It was dealing with house insurance, car insurance, anything that you had to go through an actual insurance company. It affected everything.
Wow.
And then they put a lot of stipulations in it. So, like, I'll give you an example. So Florida doesn't have a helmet law. So
okay,
you don't need a helmet to ride your motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that you're riding and
But you have to be covered by insurance, though.
Right.
Full coverage, not
Right.
just liability, right?
Right. You still gotta have insurance. So let's say that you're riding and a car pulls out in front of you and you wreck. And let's say that your leg got injured, arm broke, whatever.
Sure.
And so, of course, the first thing you do, you go to the hospital and all that, and then you get a hold of the insurance company. I was hurt in this wreck. This person did it. Here's my hospital bills. Here's this. And, a lot of people, they actually go and actually sue the insurance company to get money for for their injury and back work pay, all that other stuff.
Totally.
So what they did was you look at your insurance policy and it says like comprehensive is like 50,000 or whatever per person.
Mm-hmm.
1,000 per person. Okay, so how they did it here is that you only get what's on that paper. So if that deductible for that was like 25,000, that's all you get. You cannot sue the insurance company to get anything else.
Oh shit! So
you just get that amount. So
I see.
If you lose a leg, lose an arm, whatever, you only getting what's covered on that policy.
Well, that's basically what happened to me in California.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing. I went for the insurance and they protected themselves.
Mm-hmm. So then you got a lot of these companies. Then when the storms came in, a lot of these companies packed up and left the state. So then you only had a few insurance companies that actually stayed. So when they stayed, what did they do? They knew that they were the only insurance companies
Raise
here.
them rates.
They jacked the rates up.
Absolutely. Yep.
So,
supply and demand, baby.
So take for instance upstate Florida, right there in the cup of the panhandle, where usually the hurricanes usually ride up and they hit right there in that little,
like Orlando.
No. When you go further up north, so you know how Florida kind of sits like this.
Yes.
So right in that little crease.
Oh, that pocket.
Where it
I
runs
see
up
what
in
you're
there.
talking. Yep.
There's a lot of neighborhoods there, and where it hit so many times, and they jacked the insurance up so much that those people just stopped carrying insurance because the insurance
Are you
was
allowed
so
to
high,
do that?
they couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford not to. So when them hurricanes started coming through, it just basically just wiped them out because they couldn't afford it.
So sad.
So you had a lot of those people that was up there, like they lost everything. You know what I mean? Just because they couldn't afford the insurance. But that's the same thing that they did in Carolina. You know what I mean? That's not a flood area. So a lot of people didn't have flood insurance. It never floods there. What happens? Tropical storm comes through, floods everything. So did those people get paid for all that? No. They ain't hardly get nothing for it. You know what I mean? And then you had BlackRock and a lot of them other companies that just kind of came in and just bought the land for pennies on a dollar because they knew that they weren't going to get nothing from the insurance. but this but it's a lot that goes on here. You know what I mean? You got food insecurities, you got ecological collapse, you got the insurance, you got mass displacement, people having to move and go to evacuate and go to other places. It's numerous stuff that actually goes on during these situations. A lot of people during these storms has really, especially up in Kentucky and St. Louis, they lost everything. Did you get to see the videos of how much destruction was in that area?
I saw a little bit, but not an entire amount. But I did see how people's lives were ruined.
Yeah, they lost everything.
Everything. Yeah. Sad.
You know? And I had seen some reports where, like I said, that they had reached out, and FEMA's still around, but they've been downsized so much, and the budget of FEMA has been downsized so much that even when they do come, I mean, they're not giving all of the aid that they were normally given before. So like people was getting during the hurricanes last year, they was getting like extra $700 to help them out, and they getting SNAP benefits and all that other stuff. So a lot of that stuff is getting ready to be cut down anyway. So it's not like it's going to be a whole lot of aid that's going to be coming to them because these storms ain't going to stop. They're going to keep going, and it seems like since they've been going this year, it's been intensifying. Each storm has been a little worse than the other one. You know what I mean? And how many? What they said, it was like over 300 tornadoes that has dropped this year already.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even in the summer yet. So let me ask you this, Aaron. In situations like this, I know you said that you have to be prepared for a lot of this stuff that goes on. So with your experience being the fact that you know way more than that. I mean, you've been going for years and years and years dealing with this stuff. What is your observation dealing with this? I said, what is it that people need to do?
Well, again, I feel that, a lot of people don't like the term prepper. So, because they associate preppers with tinfoil hat people. So let's use the term threat mitigation or risk mitigation. Let's go with that. And if you want to be a risk mitigation type person, you want to cut the odds in your favor. So I have divided into 3 categories: what you're going to do before a storm, what you're going to do during a storm, and then the aftermath, what you do afterwards. And before the storm, you start off and you make a threat assessment of what you think you're going to face. If you're in a hurricane area, okay, hurricanes, but are you also facing tornadoes? Are you facing droughts? Are you facing wildfires or floods? You want to base it on the worst case situation possible. So if you're in a hurricane area, you want to pretend Cat 4, Cat 5. You want to pretend that power's going to be down, water's going to become contaminated, it's going to be down. I mean, the worst case imaginable. From that, you start to figure out what you need to have at your house to try to make it through this type of situation. Let's start off with water. Now, a lot of people stack up, and I know people who were in a flood situation down in Kentucky. They had 2 cases of water at their house and felt they had enough. They knew the storm was coming, and that's what they gathered up. And when the flood happened, they were stuck up in them hills for 2 weeks. So that 2 cases of water didn't go very far. And some of them got almost desperate enough to try to drink the flood water. So 2 cases of water isn't enough. 10 to 15 should get you through a family of 5 for about a month, maybe 6 weeks, but the more the better. I mean, I keep 20 to 30 cases on hand. Now, water is good for 2 years. However, to keep your stash fresh, you want to rotate it out once a year. So as you buy water, pull from the other side of your stack and start using the older stacks. Keep that thing fresh. Now, and then you want to have, just in case it lasts longer than you imagine, you have to drink some of that flood water. Get your life straw or Sawyer water filter. Okay. This is the mouthpiece. This is the end that you stick down in the water, and it pulls a lot of the crap out of the water to make it safe for you to drink. You can get 1,000 gallons out of one of these, and you want to put something over the end, like a piece of stocking or something, to use as a filter to keep the big pieces of debris from going up in there and stopping up your filter. You just put it in your mouth, draw the water up, makes it safe to drink. Because we don't know how long these days these disasters are going to happen, or if you're cut off somewhere in a remote area, you don't know how long it's going to be before help comes. So next thing you want to go into, because you can only go 3 days without water. You can go 21 days without food, but food is very important to keep your energy level up and keep morale up in your home. What type of food should you have for an emergency? Well, if you're going to the grocery store, how about chicken noodle soup? All it has to be is warmed up. How about Dinty Moore beef stew? Or you could put this right on top of a camping stove and cook it right in the can if you don't have cookware that you can cook out of. How about canned chili? These are whole meals in a can that are calorie dense and can get you through a situation. And all it requires is that it's warmed up. So you're not burning a lot of energy to try to heat it. Now you're going to want to have a camp stove for sure with what they call it, propane tanks to run it off of. And if you don't, then have extra charcoal or gas for your grill. And you can heat up these cans of food. Now, if you got extra money to spend, you can get military MREs, meals ready to eat. These don't have to be warmed up. They can be eaten cold. You've got cookies, trail mix, napkin, coffee, creamer, sugar. You have a main entree item. This particular one here is pinto stew with ham. And if you stick, I prefer Star Brand because their meals taste very, very good. So I strongly recommend them. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to, because they are expensive, they're about $17 a piece. You can go into the sporting goods store, the camping section of a store. I strongly recommend Mountain House. And if you want even better flavor, Peak Refuel. These are what you call
That's
dehydrated.
badass. Peak Refuel.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is restaurant quality here. If you want something that tastes like you're eating out, this is it.
How much is the difference in price?
15 versus $11 to $12.
Oh man, I'm doing the 15, man. I'm eating like a king.
You can order these off of Amazon, and you can also get them in the sporting goods department of Walmart.
That's dope.
Mountain Houses you can get at Myers or Walmart and sporting good department. 50-year shelf life on the Mountain House. Great.
Damn.
Good tasting food. All you need is boiling water to be able to prepare one of those. So again, you're not using up a bunch of energy to try to get it done.
So it's like space food.
Right. Now, next thing, and this is optional, would be an electric generator. Yeah, I strongly recommend a dual fuel system that runs off of propane or gasoline. But if you can't afford that and you just want to go somewhere and get a cheap generator, you can get one, put it back, have it already oil and stuff in it. Don't put the gas in it till you're ready to go, because gas can go bad in it and it stops up the carburetor on it. So, but that's optional. You don't have to have that. But I believe in my comfort. So when the power goes out, I know we got a windstorm that came from Florida, came up and hit us some years back. And I didn't have power for 2 weeks behind a windstorm. So I would strongly recommend having some sort of generator provide you with power. Next thing, and this is primary bread and butter, some sort of a bug out bag, Bob, call it emergency kit, put whatever title on it you want, because you don't know if you're going to be able to occupy the house. What if your house is totally flattened and you have to go to a motel, or you have to go survive in your vehicle or whatever? Having this already decked out with gear and equipment is vital.
Wait, I
So,
know someone that sells them ready to go.
yeah, I do sell them. I got to make some more. I'm sold out right now, but I got to make some
Oh
more of them.
man, you gotta get ready, because you need to get mine ready, because I need to. I'm putting my order in now. How about that?
Okay.
Put my order in now.
The next thing would be a battery operated radio. Now, I have one here that's a 4-in-1, and this is vital to have. It's a flashlight, it's a radio, it has a emergency alarm on it. But to work this, all you need to do is hand crank.
The hand crank power.
Yep. Let me turn this off.
It's awesome.
That saves your batteries. Now, if you don't have that, have you a small portable battery operated radio. It is vital that you be able to get information coming in from the government. And if the power's down, your TV won't come on. You got to have that item. So that's vital to have. That's not an option. Now, this, what I'm about to say now, is an option. In Florida and different places where they have hurricanes, you might see it. And that's tie down straps with metal stakes to put over top of your roof. Now, again, that's optional. You don't have to have that, but you don't want to be in a Cat 3, 4, or 5 and the roof comes off, because according to the rule of 3, you can only survive 3 hours in severe weather without shelter and warmth. You get exposed to the elements, you got about 3 hours to live. So strap that roof down if you can. Now you get into flashlights, because light is another vital. This isn't optional here. Let me explain on a flashlight. Now, with a flashlight, what you want is at least 200 lumens or stronger. The stronger, the better. The more range, the more visibility. What you do also want is one that has a head that will extend out. That turns it into a spotlight to where you can see long ways down at a distance. When you push it all the way in, it widens the beam into a floodlight. This is a vital thing to have, because you don't want to be hurting innocent people that's friendly to you, or you want to be able to recognize threats. So to be able to go spotlight long distance is great, but when they're in close, to be able to go to floodlight to light up an entire room, this is vital to have. Now, with a flashlight, you're going to want to have batteries. Now, if you go to Home Depot, you can buy something. This is called a battery caddy. Carries all kinds of batteries from AAA down to 9-volt, C batteries, D batteries. And that's if you're fanatical like me, okay? Some people are content with just having 4 extra batteries on hand. But to have those spare batteries, because again, you don't know how long the situation is going to last. And if it's going to last for a while, you got to have power. You need those flashlights operating. Now, candles is another vital thing. Again, prepping ahead of time, I just took a quart-sized canning jar. I have filled it with emergency candles. These will burn for 9 hours each. Then I put a Bic lighter and a book of stick matches inside of a box. Why? Because if the lighter fails, the matches will light. If the matches don't light, then the lighter will light. And I prepped it even further.
Oh shit.
Okay.
He's ready to go underwater and shit.
Well, I put a piece of foil in there, and I'm gonna show you why. Let me take a candle out.
Hopefully not for them opioids, you know?
No. Now, what I did was I installed a PVC 1-inch tube and hot glued it down to the lid. I can screw the lid back on, line that PVC with with the
you have a
oil, and I have
yeah.
an improvised candle holder
Oh,
for my
my
candle.
man.
I made a bunch of these at Christmas time, gave them out to people as Christmas presents. They didn't understand it, but you
I
don't know
do.
when the power goes out, what's going to happen. Now,
Man,
let's say,
I'll accept that Christmas gift. I'll
okay.
appreciate it.
Now, let's say that you have candles around the house, but you don't have a candle holder. What you need is get you like 2 thumbtacks, get you a couple candles out, and get you a metal aluminum foil pan. It could be a cake pan, it could be whatever. And all you do is you stick the thumbtacks through the foil pan, and then you install the candles on top of it. Let me push another one through here.
I love this kind of stuff.
Okay, let me push this one through here.
You know, mind you, this is stuff me and this man talk about all the time.
Yeah. This is what you guys do on your chill time and geeking out time.
I put it to you like this: me and Aaron have never had a 15-minute conversation.
Yeah, no, hell no. I don't think so.
We be on the phone for
hours. Yeah.
Because we'll go back and forth. I'll bring something.
I love this shit.
Go back and forth.
Now, this turns this into an improvised candle holder. I don't know if you can see this, but
go ahead and grab
the
this.
thumbtacks you push through the bottom, and then you just push the candles down on top, and it makes a safe place. So if the candles fall over, it's not going to create a fire in your home. But this is an improvised candlestick holder.
Man,
okay?
that's awesome too.
So light is going to be very important, and these are things that you want to acquire ahead of time. Again, camp stove with propane. You want to have lighters, candles, a portable power bank. That's the next thing I'm going to buy. I don't have one of those, but if it's got a USB on it, you can recharge some of your smaller electronic items, including your cell phone. So that's going to be vital to have. You're going to want to have self-defense. Some pew-pews fully equipped with freedom seeds. And then you also need non-lethal as well as the lethal. Now, non-lethal, what I would like to recommend would be a can of bear spray or pepper spray that's going to shoot at least 25 or 30 foot. It has a very wide mouth on it for hitting a big group of people. And you've got distance and range with this. You can even drive off dogs, wild animals, whatever. And for those who don't have it in their heart to use pew-pews to defend themselves, there are pepper ball pistols, which, by the way, I sell these for 130.
No way.
Yeah, they shoot.
What?
You get 6 rounds off of them. They come with rubber practice balls, but these hurt. If you ever been shot by a paintball gun, this is even more intense, and it throws the pepper dust all over them. And it's a way of using non-lethal force to drive off animals or perpetrators that has nothing but bad intentions for you, because people will get desperate. They're going to do desperate acts, and they will try to take your stuff from you if they can. Now,
and it also have metal projectiles to them, them pepper guns as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then behind me, I have hand weapons that I can reach for in the event that I run out of freedom seeds. So that's something to consider. I strongly recommend it for a storm that you have some sort of rain poncho. Some of them are foldable, one use, others are multi-use. The one use ones you can stick in your back pocket. But if it's raining, your roof comes off or something, you got to keep them elements off of you so hypothermia doesn't set in within 3 hours. So a good rain poncho. If you don't have a rain poncho and you've got 55-gallon plastic bags for your trash can around, you turn those plastic bags inside out, cut your head hole, cut your 2 armholes, and make an improvised poncho out of 55-gallon bags. That's usually why I recommend people in their bug out bags have at least 1 or 2 extra 55-gallon bags folded up, because you never know when a relative might need something. You might be fully equipped, but a grandchild or something might need something to keep some rain off of them. Then the next item is going to be a first aid kit. When them storms roll in, glass windows get broken, severe lacerations can occur when the wind is pushing that glass through somebody's house.
True.
So first aid kit, and then take the time to buy some tourniquets, because for
tell ya.
arms and legs, this is a lifesaver right here.
Yep, saved my life.
Okay. Then again, not knowing if you're going to be able to stay in the house or not after the disaster, have some money in your emergency bag, in ones, fives, and tens. Because if a store is open but they don't have power, they're only going to be taking cash, no credit cards, no checks. And you got to have exact money, because they're not going to be able to make change for you. So ones, fives, and tens for sure, put back, and enough to be able to pay for a motel room in the event that you have to go to one, because they may not accept your credit cards or checks. They might be cash only, and you can bet that in an emergency, they're going to be charging more money for those rooms.
Yeah.
Now you need probably a gallon size freezer bag or some sort of protector bag that you put your important documents into: your birth certificate, your title to your car, the title or whatever ownership of your house, things of that nature. Because if you come back and squatters and squatted, you're going to need proof that that property was yours, because they say possession is 9/10 of the law. They're holding your property. You're claiming it's yours. What do you got to prove it? So have those important documents. Another thing that's most often forgot about: a good pair of gloves. You can do something as long as these are working. You get cuts and scratches and these get infected, you are ineffective. So have some good gloves to protect your hands with. We already talked about the water filter. In the event you live in a state where you know storms are coming ahead of time, have sections of plywood already cut to fit specific windows, and write on those sections what windows they go to. So if you're not at home and someone's there, they can have that stuff mounted and up by the time you arrive. So have that already done. And in the event you don't have that, and in the event that your windows get broke out, to keep the weather out, buy you some Husky plastic sheeting in the paint department. There's plastic drop cloths. They run about $25 for a big bundle. And you can put that up with duct tape or Gorilla Tape in your windows, and that keeps the weather out. So have that on hand. And I'm gonna stop there for items that you should have prior to the event, and then we can go into what to do during the storm. Do you guys want to add anything at this point?
What about ham? What about ham radios?
Ham radios are great. Most disasters, that's how the news gets out. It's
Yep.
originally from ham radio operators.
I got my license too.
Right. So,
Got
but
it.
again, for the average person, that's an option. There's many options I can add to this list, but the basic bread and butter were the items that I named that I said were non-optional. And then here's another item that you want to have. And I forgot to mention it.
Fire extinguisher. Yep.
At least two. Because in the event that some hot wires come down and your house catches fire, or for whatever reason your house catches fire, you're the first responder. Now you can sit there and watch it and let it get engulfed and hope somebody shows up, or you can put it out while the fire's small. The choice is yours. This is worth the money to me. I'd rather use this than be calling the insurance company hoping that they're still going to insure me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to. I got to go get my ham certification. I mean, I have a ham radio, and I know how to work it.
Hey,
I got it programmed.
Lots of people have one just to be in the know. I mean, people listen to ham radio just to listen all the time, to get the news, I mean, that is where real breaking news is going to happen from.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I had one for a good while, and I had it programmed, and then I found this other little piece that you could buy that you plug it in to the side of it, and it has a mobile app to it. The sucker pops on there. You put in your what area you in. It'll pop up everything that's in that area. Feed it all to it. It automatically programs everything right to it. So you don't got to do it like you did before and have to go through all the little bits and check off this and move this over to this area and all that. You don't got to do none of that. It'll automatically just go through and put everything that you need on there. So I'll be on there listening to the listening to people on there talking, listening to the police department and the fire department and everybody. Yeah, but they are good to have. Like I said, I'll let you. I know you was in your element.
Okay.
Doing that, so I was gonna let you run with it. Like I said, me and you talk about this all the time. So just about everything that you got, you already know I got. So like I said, this is I know this right here is like right down your alley. You gonna go for days and days if we got into all this stuff.
Okay, then there's what you do during the storm. All right, again, if you have a basement, seek shelter, go down into your basement, find you a nice safe place away from windows if necessary, or if the windows are against the wall, go underneath there and be against the flat wall to where if the glass blew in, it's blowing past you. But if you can cover those outside windows, even throw a board across there, anything that, or a sack of dirt, anything that can help is something that you should have. But if you have pets, please bring them in. Don't leave your animals out there stuck in a tornado or storm tied to a tree. A lot of animals die, and the ones that don't, man, you can look at the look in their eyes. They're in such shock that I don't think they ever recover. They just start running from everybody. So please bring your pets in. If you seek shelter in the basement, like I said, have your basic kit, have all your emergency supplies in that basement. You don't want to have to be going upstairs to get the stuff. Now, if you don't have a basement, the safest room to be in is going to be your bathroom. It's heavier duty built. It's usually in the center of your house, and you can get in that bathtub and cover yourself over with a mattress or something, and you have protection. If you're in a store and a major storm hits or tornado hits, immediately go to the bathrooms. If you work in a factory, go to the bathrooms. Those bathrooms are built like concrete cinder block bunkers. If you ever look at the walls, you can see that they're the strongest part of the damn store are those bathrooms. So go in there and try to seek shelter and pray the roof don't come off. But right there, I'm gonna stop there for what you do during the storm. If you guys want to add anything to that, you can.
Bro,
if not,
you are the prepared, ready man.
Okay.
This is your time to shine, baby.
Okay, then let's deal with the aftermath. As soon as it happens, everything is quiet. You're sure that there's no aftershocks or anything's getting ready to come. Go out and do a damage assessment of your property. Check to see if there's any fires going on. Check for structural damage because you don't want to be occupying it and that thing's about to cave in on you. Make sure that it is safe for you to remain in that property. Listen to the reports over the radio. Immediately tune in those reports on the radio and hear what the government and what everybody's telling you to do. Stay very alert to looters because moments after it happened, you may not have that worry, but within hours, those who have nothing are going to be out looking to acquire resources. So be very aware of looters and be careful of people wanting to come up to you that you don't know.
Yeah.
And then watch out.
If I got a gun and you've got all your supplies and you don't have a way to defend yourself, and I come in and I go, well, thanks for looting all of this from me.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
Right.
I'm going to take that shit now.
And then lastly, I'm going to say, watch for live wires. I mean, you can have flood water going across there, and there could be half a block down a live wire in that damn water. So you damn sure don't want to get in it. It could be in puddles. You can see it smoking on the ground, but you may not see it smoking in the water. So definitely surveil the area. If you got a pair of binoculars that you can search the area, even better, so that you can detect where those live wires are. But I'm gonna stop there at before, during, and after. That's your basic bread and butter. Now, there's other things that you can do as well. And if you realize that you want to stay at your property because you don't want the looters to come loot your stuff, then if you don't have a tent on hand, then your car becomes your shelter at that point, and you shelter in place inside the vehicle. But just be aware that you'll be under surveillance. Somebody's going to try to make a move on you.
You're not wrong, and that's the risk I'm willing to take, because
Right.
if anything happens here, we have an agreement with certain people that the meetup property is here. You know what I mean? This is the bunker, so
Right.
I'm willing to defend this shit, and I'm
Right.
ready.
But I'm gonna stop there right now, but it's very important to surveil your property to make sure it's safe to still occupy it. And be aware of the threat that's around you, the numbers of people that are out there that are without. Is it safe for you to stay there, or is it safer for you to relocate your family to a motel or somewhere where they're not out there having to gunfight somebody? I mean, that's a decision everyone's gonna have to make on their own. But you better be prepared to defend if you decide to stay, because threats will come your way. And if not, by the next morning, hungry people are going to start showing up asking, you got any water? You got any food you could spare? You got any medicine? And if it's known in the community that you're a prepper, oh, you're going to have mobs of people coming.
Of course.
So when they say loose lips sink ships, this is one time you don't want to be known as being a prepper.
Yep. When that shit really goes down, don't be known for that, honestly. Be the gray man of every situation possible in that situation. Just be a gray man, blend in as much as possible. I do not flex. Don't do shit. Definitely underplay everything. Even when you're regarding with FEMA, I need the help now. It doesn't matter. I need it. Otherwise, you're not going to get it.
And as we know, the government is almost bankrupt right now. Bond market's failing in Japan. I mean, gosh, man, it's so bad. And it's going to start impacting over here shortly. But don't expect government help. You're the first responder. You are your own responsibility. You are your family's your family's responsibility is yours. Take the steps now so that you can thrive through a situation and not be suffering. And I'll stop there.
Right. And that's the main point that we've been trying to make this whole time with all the different stuff that's going on.
Prepare.
Like I said, dealing with these, how these storms been hitting. They've been hitting regularly. Like I said, we just had 300 tornadoes here since the beginning of the year.
Yep, I was a part of that little statistic.
Right, it can happen
right here over the course of my house, right here.
Right. I mean, it can happen at any time. Any storm can pop up at any time and can turn, an ordinary day into a nightmare. It can easily happen. So what we're talking about here is not talked about to scare anyone, but we talk about it more for you to be more prepared for anything that could happen. It's better to rather to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Damn straight.
So I hope that the stuff that Aaron put out there, I hope everybody kind of take heed to what he's saying, because that man's been doing this for many years, has a vast knowledge of what he's talking about. I've actually learned a lot from him throughout the years. And he would be, if I had to make a community, he would definitely be in it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
Just based off of the knowledge that he has.
I second that. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna try to buy my way to get Aaron over here, because I know he's gonna go to you. Loyalty matters. I know. I get it. It's okay.
Well, man, I'm telling you what.
Money talks, though.
If anybody need help, like trying to get them bug out bags together, stuff like that, get a hold of that man. I mean, he can walk you through just about everything you need. Like I said, he makes them himself. If you if you just need advice as to what to do, if you can make your own, he's right here.
Well, that's exactly why. I mean, I wasn't joking for the show. Like, I mean what I said. Like, I need to have me a made up bag, that a bug out bag, because I know he actually offers like 3 different layers, you know, of what you want, you know, and I definitely want to be as prepared as possible. And Aaron, I eventually want to have actually 2, one here in the house and one in my car at all times, so that just sits there. It's just automatic. It's automatically there. So, but that's what I want to work up to. But I wasn't joking. I really want to get me a bag from you.
When I build some more, I'll let you know when I got some more ready. I'll tag
do.
your name. Yeah.
I'm going to pull up your Facebook account right now so that people
but you know what,
also
like
know where to go.
Even when you have a bug out bag, you are always adding something to it. Always. I mean, now I have 2 big bug out bags. One, just a little getaway bag, a little quick one. You know, I got my camper fully stocked that if I need to go, I could just drop it, hitch it, and go. We got everything I need in there. Inside the house, you know, water, food, whatever we need. So but you don't just run out and just start buying it. You don't go out and have to spend a whole lot of money at one time. I've been getting stuff a little bit at a time. A lot of the stuff that you can use, believe it or not, you can actually find rather cheap if you go to the right places and be able to get what you need to add to it. Like I said, it's you need one to your actual startup. But like I said, as you get into it and you started adding stuff into it, especially if you actually use the bag. So like when I go camping, I'll take one of the bags. Now both bags have the exact same thing in it. So I'll grab one bag, I'll go camping, and I'll use everything that's in that bag. And while I'm out there.
So you already have a bag. Now it's ready to go just in case.
Right. So when I get back, I done wrote down on my little tablet
what you used.
I put down what I use, and I also put down what I should have had in it.
Oh, smart.
So then when I restock it, I'll restock it with everything that I already had.
Man, I should have had aspirin in this one. Fuck. Why I forgot to add aspirin on this.
Yeah, so that's how you're gonna know what you actually need. I mean, it's not just the fact of having a bag to grab. You can have all this stuff in this bag, but if you don't know how to use what's in the bag, you just as worse as not having the bag. Because you just got a bunch of stuff that you can't use. That you don't know what you're gonna do with it. You know what I mean? So the stuff that you have in your bag, make sure that you know how to actually use what you have in it. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I'll take my bag out with me. I go camping every year. I'll take my bag. I'll use what's in the bag. I bring it back. I restock it, and I'll put in what I didn't have that I should have had in the bag. You know what I mean? So after doing that a couple times, you end up with, you know, that's how I ended up with 2 bags. Because I had so much stuff in one bag that I was able to pull everything out and separate it to make 2 bags with the exact same stuff in it because I had so much stuff in one bag.
Speaking of, real quick, on that topic, Papa Penguin actually asked a question earlier. Later on, I want to request a segment or a time where Aaron actually can break down the importance of not overpacking and what you actually need to condense down to for in a reality situation. You got to be real about these things. You can't bring your whole freaking house of supplies. You have to have the most important survival shit right there and then. So I want to have a segment eventually, I'm just requesting, where how important it is not to overpack.
Right. And like I said, that's where it drops down to like he has three different size bags.
Right. So he does. Exactly.
So like I have 3 different size bags. I got one big bag that I use that I keep one in my truck. I keep one here at the house. I got a smaller bag that's just like a little weekend, like a little, I'm only gonna be out for a couple days. I grab that bag, just a backpack.
Actually, it was you that told me. When we were on the phone one time, you were like, actually, I like to have a bag in my car ready to go, and I like and that's where I kept that in my head. What you probably picked up when I said that. Then you told me, you're the one that told me you need to have a bag in your car, have a bag in your house ready to go.
Yeah, so I got that one, and then I have a smaller bag, that has. I mean, if it's just some stuff I need to go like right now, you know what I mean? I can grab that smaller bag, and it has the essentials for that. So like I said, so as you making these bags, you make them based on what you need them for. You know what I mean? Long term, I'm gonna grab the big bag. Couple days, I'm gonna grab this one. Just here for a day, maybe a day and a half, 2 days, I can grab this bag here. You know what I mean? So you have to make these bags according to what you're going to use them for. You know what I mean? You're not going to walk around with a big 30-pound bag walking around.
Each bag has a purpose.
Right. All of them have a purpose, and you have different stuff in it based on what it is that you're going to be doing it for. Yeah. So it's a good idea for him too today. And actually I got that from him. You know what I mean? Like I said, me and Aaron go back almost 20 years now. You know what I mean? So that's been a lot of back and forth.
A lot of knowledge.
Right. There's been a lot of stuff going back and forth with that. So, but yeah, he's the master when it comes to that stuff, man.
I love this talk.
I mean,
I think people get a lot of knowledge and value out of this. I know I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is, like I said, this is something that is good for everyone to have. You know what I mean? Like I said, you don't have to spend a fortune to have one. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can, you get you one and just have. So you know that when something ain't right. Everybody knows when something just ain't right. And you know that you need to go right now.
Well, I got to admit, when I saw the very first time that Aaron offered a prepackaged, kit ready to go kind of thing, when I saw that, I was actually really surprised at the price. I was like, that's really freaking reasonable. It's not as bad as people think it is to get involved. And just these are things that, I mean, you do kind of for most people, kind of like a one-time buy. You're ready to go in a lot of scenarios. Now, honestly, should you keep up on it? Of course. But just stating that a lot of people get a lot of value out of that, and it's not as expensive as I thought. I was like, wow, this is actually really reasonable.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Papa said something on here too. He said knowing how to fold and pack stuff is way more important than folks realize. Now that right there
sounds like the military coming out, and
there's some people that's on here that's watching that knows. when I go on a flight, I got a bag. They'll carry on it. They said that you can bring on for free. That's about yay big, and I have about 4 days worth of shit in that bag because I know how to fold it. And I'm gonna tell you, I have now, mind you. I'm 270 pounds, so my clothes ain't little, but I can make my pair of pants about that big, literally that big, and be able to fit in them bags. You know what I mean? It's crazy because when I do and I start pulling this stuff out, all you see is look like these little bundles. I'm just sticking these little bundles out. And they're like, what's that? And pop it out. Big old pair of pants, shirts. Whatever. I mean, I literally packed 4 days of clothes, and one of them was a full 3-piece suit in a carry-on bag. It's just all about knowing how to do it. You know what I mean? You can put a whole lot of stuff in.
This is where I fail. Okay. I can't fold worth of shit. I just go bam, bam, bam. It's like, just whatever.
Right.
That's something I should actually know how to do.
It's like once you learn how to do it, you never not do it. You know what I mean?
That never was a thing for me in my life. So I really should. I should like study a video for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like the first thing that they teach you in boot camp is how to fold clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you
Simple
only
shit,
have
man.
right, because you only have minimum space. So you got to get everything that you need, and that
They
that's
need
all.
you in minimum space.
Right. Right. So you got to learn how to do it. Like I said, once you learn how to do it, you never forget how to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Once it's
me,
beat into your freaking head, yeah, it's over.
right. And me being the fact that I'm not paying them high ass prices to check no bag, you know, because the airport's getting ridiculous with that. Okay, I'm gonna fold these clothes. I'm gonna put them all in this bag big enough that I can go on there and that ain't nobody gonna realize that I got 4 days worth of clothes in this little ass bag. You know what I mean? And walk right on through, no problem. But yeah. So how long, man? We've been on here for 136. Just so we're gonna have to drop this down. We've been out here running our mouth way too long. Well, Aaron been running his mouth for like 45 minutes.
It's awesome though. Dude, that's a lot of valuable info.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You know, I value all the stuff to be, you know what I mean, that we talk about, man, because I know that you know a lot of stuff, like I said. So I give you the highest respect when it comes to that.
Appreciate. Thank you.
But
me too.
We're gonna turn it down for the evening. Like I said, I appreciate everyone for coming out. Don't forget, like, follow, share, subscribe. Hit the like button on your way out on both sides, please. That's what get the show out in the proper algorithm. That's one of the things that we need the most is to be able to get the knowledge that we're putting out. We need to be able to get it out to more and more people, and that's how we're able to do that. So hit that like button, subscribe button. Also, go on, check out the Diamond Effect store. We got the little QR code at the top there. If you scan at it, it'll take you right to it. We got a lot of new stuff that's on there.
We're gonna play a new video at the end here.
Yeah, I have you talk about that, and then we got a lot of new stuff on there. The website is constantly being updated. As a matter of fact, the person that's over that, Cinderella, it's also her birthday on Saturday. So happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. That's awesome.
Yes, and she made sure that she texted me earlier and was like, don't forget to say my birthday.
Oh, shit.
Then she called and was like, did you get my message earlier? I said, oh, you mean about your birthday? Oh, yeah. So you got it. Okay. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
That is the woman that is behind the Diamond Effect podcast website. She's over the website. She's over the store. She's the one that comes up with the designs, all of that.
Man, that's so cool, man.
So she is a very, very, very big help to us. And like I said, happy birthday to you. And I hope your weekend is great and you get everything that you wish for. For everyone else, like I said, I appreciate you each and every week. I thank you all for coming in and sitting with us. And hopefully the information that we're putting out, you're learning from and able to pass it on to others. And that's exactly what we're trying to do, is to put out the knowledge in hopes that you take heed to it and be able to pass it on to someone else. So thank you all again. And I'll see you all in 7 days. Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay. I just want to say again, when we put out information, we're trying to help people get out in front of these situations, not be reacting to them. It's the difference between thriving or living in fear of what the next thing is coming down the road. So just remember, you do what we call risk mitigation. We're going to call it prepping. You do risk mitigation and you get out in front of this. And then there's nothing for you to really worry about. When a situation happens, it's great. But I had a friend recently tell me, why should I spend all that money on all that gear and equipment? What if nothing ever happens? Well, are you watching the news? I mean, there's stuff happening every week. And we're lucky that things that are happening in Europe and other places right now aren't happening here. But if you notice, COVID started off in China, then it went to Europe. Everybody kept saying, oh, it'll never get here. Oh, well, it was here 4 weeks later. Everything that happens over there, financially, economically, geopolitically, that stuff ends up coming over here before it's over with. So just remember, we prepare today so we can have a better tomorrow. And I'll stop there.
Man, I really can't thank you both enough for the amount of preparedness and these kind of topics. Not a lot of people can kind of dive deep into something like this, and I really appreciate it. I think that the moral of tonight's show is preparedness, right? And I never really dealt with something to the degree of like extreme emergency, but I did recently go through a double tornado, and I did realize, like, okay, like we're here in the bunker, and very grateful that we started preparing, and we had food, we had water, we had all sorts of things. We could house the neighborhood essentially. We're ready to go, and I think that it's super smart for anyone here, especially in the map that we were showing earlier, regards to the new tornado alley and what Aaron was talking about here. Is I think it's really important, anybody in those areas, to prepare. And I think that it's not only those people. I think anybody should prepare for like a bug out bag and stuff like that. But I think it's smart to do that. And I think that the moral of the story of what we talk about here is about preparedness. Better to need it now, and have it than not to have it at all, for damn sure. So listen, with everybody here, man, I very much appreciate your guys' engagement in the chat here and hanging out with us on both sides. On my side, we're going to be sending a raid over to our buddy Tom Foolery. Give him some love and hit that like button for everybody on every side, over there on the Diamond Effect and over here on my page. Make sure you guys do that and go subscribe over to his page and vice versa, man. So with that being said, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Stick around. I'm going to show you guys a little new video on the merchandise and stuff, and then we're going to be sending you guys off. Much love, honor, respect to everybody, and I very much appreciate everyone. Much love.
There